The wind howled like a grieving widow the night Aisha found the abandoned bridal house. She hadn't planned on stopping. She was driving through the old countryside road, tired, lost, and desperate to reach the small village where she volunteered at a women's shelter. Her phone showed 1% battery, her fuel tank blinked empty, and the world around her was swallowed by a suffocating fog. Then she saw it, a solitary Haveli standing like a forgotten relic from another lifetime. Its windows dark, its gate half open, and above the entrance, a faint glow, warm, almost inviting, like someone waited for her. Aisha hesitated, every instinct screamed don't go in. But the rain turned violent, lashing at her car, drowning out every other option. She grabbed her bag, covered her head, and ran through the gate. Inside, silence greeted her. Heavy, ancient silence. Yet there was something strangely familiar about the place, as if thousands of footsteps had once danced across this very ground. Chandeliers hung like frozen rain, and faded murals stretched along the walls, brides painted in red and gold, smiling at a world that no longer remembered them. Aisha wiped the rain from her eyes and looked around. Hello, she called. Anyone here? No answer. But the house wasn't empty. She could feel it. As she stepped forward, her flashlight flickered across a dusty dressing table. Jewelry lay scattered. A cracked mirror reflected her drenched figure, and something behind her. She spun around. Nothing. Just a staircase, shadowed and broken. Her heartbeat slowed, until she saw it. A faint trail of marigold petals leading up the stairs, still fresh, as if placed moments ago. Aisha swallowed. Who's here? Silence again, but the petals felt like an invitation. And she followed. Dash dash dash. The bride in the mirror. Upstairs, the trail ended before a large wooden door carved with delicate patterns of peacocks and paisleys. The door creaked open with the slightest touch, revealing a room bathed in soft candlelight. Aisha froze. At the center of the room stood a woman, dressed as a dulhan. Her red bridal lehenga shimmered as if woven from moonlight itself. Her jewelry glowed. Her hands, decorated with deep maroon mehndi, trembled slightly. Yet, her face remained hidden under a long red veil. Aisha's fear softened instantly. The girl seemed fragile, lonely, abandoned on what should have been the most joyful night of her life. Are you okay? Aisha asked gently. The dulhan lifted her chin slightly, as if acknowledging her presence but unable, or unwilling, to reveal her face. Aisha stepped forward. Do you need help? Can I? The dulhan lifted her hand, pointing toward the dressing table. Aisha followed her gesture. On the table lay a shattered photograph. Two people, one bride, one groom, smiling, holding hands. But the groom's face was scratched out completely, replaced by dark streaks like dried tears. Aisha turned back to the dulhan. Something happened, didn't it? The dulhan nodded slowly. Her veil shook. And then she pointed again, this time toward the window. A sudden gust burst through the curtains, slamming the door shut behind Aisha with a thunderous bang. The candles flickered violently. For a heartbeat, a strange coldness wrapped around the room. Aisha shivered. Listen, I don't want to disturb you. I just need a phone, or somewhere safe to stay till morning. I'm not here to. But before she finished, the dulhan stepped closer. Very close. Close enough that Aisha could hear her soft breaths beneath the veil. Then, in a trembling whisper that sounded like wind trapped in glass, the dulhan spoke. Help, me. Aisha's fear melted. Because beneath the chilling silence, beneath the eerie room and forgotten memories, she sensed something deeper, pain, not malice. And she couldn't walk away from that. Dash dash dash. The story she could not tell. The dulhan led Aisha down a corridor filled with abandoned rooms. Dusty wedding decorations hung like ghosts of celebrations that never happened. In one corner, Aisha noticed broken bangles, hundreds of them, crushed underfoot, their shards reflecting a story of heartbreak. Eventually, they reached a room locked with an old iron chain. The dulhan pointed to it. Inside? Aisha asked. The dulhan nodded again. Aisha tugged at the chain, and to her surprise, it fell off effortlessly, almost as if it wanted to be opened. Inside lay a small wooden chest. She opened it cautiously. Letters. Dozens of them, all addressed to one name. Zara. Aisha turned back. Is that your name? The dulhan's hands trembled. Yes. Aisha sat on the dusty floor and began reading. The letters told a story that squeezed her heart. Zara had been in love, deeply, honestly, with a man her family despised. Their marriage was forbidden, their relationship treated as a stain on the family's so-called honor. But the two lovers were determined. They planned to run away on her wedding night. And they almost did. But someone betrayed them. The family caught the couple before they fled. The last letter ended abruptly, stained with smeared ink and tears. Aisha closed her eyes, her breath heavy. They hurt you, didn't they? Zara lowered her head. Her veil slipped slightly, just enough for Aisha to glimpse bruised skin and tear lines burned into her ghostly face. Aisha's throat tightened. You didn't deserve this, she whispered. The Dulhan looked up, and for a moment, Aisha expected anger, vengeance, rage. Instead, she saw something far more heartbreaking. A plea. Zara wasn't bound here because she wanted revenge. She was trapped because she had died waiting for someone to help her finish her story. To be heard, to be seen, to be remembered as more than a tragedy. Aisha gently reached out her hand. I'm here now, tell me what you need. Zara pointed to the last letter again, its final page blank. Aisha understood. You want me to write your ending? Zara nodded. Aisha took out a pen from her bag and began writing on the blank page. The ending she deserved. Aisha didn't write about sorrow. She didn't write about betrayal. She wrote the ending Zara should have had. A love that wasn't stolen. A future that wasn't shattered. A bride who lived, laughed, dreamed. Aisha wrote Zara's happy ending with the same care one uses when placing flowers on a grave, with love, with gentleness, with respect for a life interrupted too soon. When she finished, she turned the page toward the Dulhan. Zara touched it with trembling fingers. Her veil fluttered. The candles brightened. The air warmed. For the first time, Zara's form looked peaceful, not burdened by heartbreak, not tied to grief, but finally understood. A soft glow wrapped around her like morning sunlight. Aisha watched quietly as Zara lifted her veil. Underneath was a face beautiful yet scarred by pain, yet in this moment, free. Zara smiled. Not a haunting smile. A grateful one. A thank you. Then she slowly turned into shimmering dust, rising like fireflies toward the cracked ceiling, fading into the night, free at last. The candles extinguished gently. The room fell silent, but no longer cold. Aisha closed the chest, placed the final letter inside, and whispered, You're not forgotten anymore. The return home. Morning light broke the fog outside as Aisha stepped out of the Haveli. Her car, dead hours ago, now started on the first try. She drove away with a strange calmness blooming inside her. Later, when she reached the village shelter, one of the women approached her holding a small newspaper clipping. It was decades old.